Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Kanika. Today, in computer application, we will continue with Unit 1, Chapter 1, Internet of your computer applications book. In previous video, we have learnt about what is Internet, its components, and some of the Internet protocols. Today, we will be discussing some other protocols. So, let's begin. Unit 1, Networking, Chapter 1, Internet, Part 3. Remote login protocols. Before understanding what are remote login protocols, let us first understand what do you mean by remote or remote machine or computer. So, a client server model can create a mechanism that allows a user to establish a session on or a connection to the remote machines and then run its application. This application is known as remote login. A remote computer is a computer that a user has no access to physically but may be able to access it remotely via network link from another computer. So what do you mean by remote computer? Remote computer is a computer which you can't access physically. Access physically, you can't touch it or you are not around that computer, but you can still access or use that computer. How? Using a network link, by using a network link from another computer. For example, if I am sitting at my home and I want to access my computer which is in my PG or where I study, okay, so what I can do, I cannot go directly to that place. Say the place is in Mumbai, okay, so I can't go to Mumbai right now. So what I can do, I can create a connection from my computer in Delhi to the computer which is there in Mumbai, provided that the computer in Mumbai should be on and should be on the network. Okay, so I can directly access that computer from sitting here. So that is called a remote computer access, where you can access another computer which is in a different geographical position or place, so you can access that computer using a network link. Okay, so a client server model can create a mechanism that allow a user to establish a session to the remote machine. Nowadays, in lockdown situations, many of our parents or even elder brothers and sisters are working from home, right? How they are working from home? As they can get the remote control of the system which is there in their office. They can get the remote control of that system and they can work at home. So this is one of the great example which you can see nowadays. A user may want to run such applications at remote site with results to be transferred back to its local site. So when you establish a connection with a remote computer, you can use it for transferring some of the information or files. For example, an employee working at home can log into his or work server to access application program for doing a project. While sitting at home, you can also access your work computer, right? But the condition is that both the computers should be on a network. Okay, then this can be done by using two remote login protocols, and they are Telnet and SSH. There are two remote protocols, that is SSH stands for Secure Shell and Telnet. Secure Shell. It is a protocol widely used to log in remotely from one system to another. So as told you earlier, protocol is a set of rules. So SSH provides some set of rules that how you can control or log in to a remote computer from sitting into another place. When you're sitting into another place, how you can log in into a remote computer. It's strong encryption. Encryption means encodes a message or file so that it can only be read by certain people. It provides an encryption to the files which are transferring from one place to another, because in the network you know very well that hackers are there or someone can steal that information. So encryption is provided. Encryption means encoding the message into a secret language. So makes a deal to carry out tasks such as issuing remote commands, remotely managing network infrastructure and other vital system components. And you can just like work on that system like you are working on that system. You are physically not working on that system, but remote login provides you such facility. Okay. SSH was primarily designed to enable a user to securely log on to remote computer. So SSH provides secure login, secure remote login to a computer. Okay. Next we have Telnet. Telnet stands for, I have searched for Telnet full form. It is given different everywhere. Okay, so it is somewhere written as teletype network, telecommunication network, terminal network. So there are different full forms which are given for this. So Telnet is a network protocol used to virtually access a computer and to provide a two-way collaborative and text-based communication. Okay, Telnet also provides you how you can log into your remote computer in two-way, that is collaborative and text based. Like you have to write some commands in your CMD, some commands need to be written, and then you can establish communication between the host system and the remote system. Some examples, you must have seen TeamViewer or AnyDesk are some example. If you have seen, for these are the software which provides you remote login. The user connects to the server by using the Telnet protocol, which means entering Telnet into a command prompt by following the syntax. So you need a command prompt. Command prompt means simply your directory, your dir, in which you can write the command for establishing the connection. Telnet can be used to test or troubleshoot the remote web. For example, I am sitting at home and I work in an office, okay, and my other colleague has some problem in in his or her computer. So I can use this remote login and can help in troubleshooting. Troubleshooting means helping in him or her find out what problem he or she is facing. So Telnet protocol can be used for doing so. Then what is the difference between SSH and Telnet? These both are used for setting up remote login. So the main difference is SSH is more secure, as we have learned that SSH provides encryption. SSH encrypts the data. Okay, we have learned that, but Telnet does not encrypt the data. It sends the data in the plain text, means as it is. Like I have written, like I want to send to my colleague, hey, what's up, are you up for a meeting at 10 a.m. so it will send the message as it is. SSH uses a public key for authentication. It uses a public key of authentication. Public key of authentication, basically a password, two-way password. Like if I have entered, right, if I want to access a remote machine in Mumbai, so I will provide some password, and then the other machine in the Mumbai should write that password, and it verifies whether the other system is the same which you want to take the access. So it provides with public key authentication, or you can say password. But Telnet does not use any authentication. Next is file transfer protocol. Now internet protocol, it is a standard internet protocol for transmitting files between computers. As the name suggests, it is the protocol which tells you how you can send files from one system to another. FTP is a client-server protocol where client will ask for a file and local or remote server will be provided. So a client will ask for the file and the server will provide it. We have read the client and server model, so you know it very well. It is mainly used for transferring the web pages from creator to computer. For web pages file, basically whenever you open any website, it is also kind of a file transfer. So that is also done using FTP. It is used for downloading the files to the computer from other servers. So when you are downloading a file, say you are downloading an ebook, so that is a file. So FTP along with internet protocol. See, whenever you work on internet or whenever you work on any network, you are not using just one protocol. You will be using more than one protocols, because first you are using the internet. So there will be internet protocols over there. What kind of HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP. Then you will be obviously using some email. So you will be using SMTP or POP3. Then you are transferring file. So when you work in an environment, you are not just using one type of protocol. You are using different types of protocol. Okay. Next is why we need FTP. For example, two systems may have different file conventions. Different file conventions means two systems may have different way to represent text and data. Like my system, I am using Microsoft Word, and the other system is using Mac. So Windows and Mac, they have different conventions, means different style of representing their text and data. So FTP protocol overcomes this problem by establishing two connections between the host. So this type of difference is being taken care by FTP. One connection is used for data transfer and the other connection is used for control connection. so that when I transfer my data from one system to another, sometimes happens that you receive a file from one of your friends or you download the file, there are some certain symbols on it and you can't read it properly what it is written. So that means FTP has not been able to transfer it properly, or not proper protocol has been followed. So this is how diagrammatically you can see FTP works. There is a user, then user asks the user or the client is one and the same thing. So user interface control the process. So user interface tells by TCP IP connection that yes, I want this file, and server, it takes the file, provides the data connection, and it get back to the user. Okay, so this is how FTP works. Then types of file transfer protocol. Then there are different types of file transfer protocol: SFTP, secure file transfer protocol; SCP, secure copy. SFTP, it builds on the file transfer protocol and includes secure shell security component. That is, it is a file protocol for transferring large files over the web. When you have large amount of files, so you use SFTP. Why you use SFTP? Because it also includes secure shell, and we have studied that secure shell provides security. So for when you have large files, obviously you need security. So secure shells is also used alongside SFTP. SFTP as a successor to FTP is used for many situations while file security is important. Where file security is important, SFTP is used. It is similar to FTP, but it uses SSH as file transfer protocol. Okay, because obviously when you are transferring a file, you are transferring the file from a remote machine, whether it is a server. We are asking for the files from a server. So server is also a remote machine. So obviously you need a remote protocol also. So that is why you are using SSH. Then there are two types of SFTP. There is graphical user interface and command line SFTP method. In graphical user interface, one is through a graphical user interface where program abstract the use of SFTP visually for user end. So you can just it's a software where visuals are there, so you just drag and drop your files, and that way your files are transferred from one place to another. Second is command line. In command line, this is often used in Linux environment. Linux is kind of an operating system. With this type of setup, the user has to type in specific command lines to generate the SFTP protocol. For this type of SFTP, you need to provide certain commands, like not coding, but some commands in written manner you need to provide. Next we have SCP, that is secure copy. It is a file transfer protocol which helps in transferring computer files securely from local host to remote host. It's a file transfer protocol, so it helps in transferring file. It works on SSH technique. Okay, it works on SSH technique. SCP maintains the confidentiality. That means it maintains the security of the data being transferred and protects the authenticity by blocking packet sniffers from extracting valuable information from the data packets. It protects the data and from external hacking or external threats. Packet sniffer means the hackers, you can say, which are looking into the network for extracting some information. So these are also called as packet sniffers. Now what is the difference between SSH and SCP? So the main difference between SSH and SCP is that SSH is used for logging into remote system. SSH is a remote protocol, whereas SCP is used for transferring file. It is used for transferring file, and SSH is used for logging into remote system. Okay, and implementation of these two is also very different. When they are implemented in real life, then implementation method is different. So this was all about protocols. I have covered communication protocol in previous video and in previous tutorial, and in this tutorial we have covered remote login protocol and file transfer protocol. Okay, so you have to do this assignment. This assignment includes both this tutorial as well as previous tutorial, and here you differentiate between certain protocols. So do this assignment, and if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me, and you can comment down in the comments box if you have any doubt, and those doubts will be discussed in the doubt session in the coming week. Till then, take care.